Mic check 1 2 1 2. It is a bright and sunny Saturday, and I know many of you are probably revving up your engines to get out there and do some retro game hunting. And one of the more popular places to visit these days has been GameStop. And the good thing about GameStop is that you can still find really solid titles that are actually underpriced. Games that GameStop will have listed for 30, 40, 50, sometimes 75% or more below their price charting value. And so I kind of just wanted to come out with a list for the morning for some games that you should be on the lookout for, because a lot of these games are still available at a GameStop near you potentially. This list is PS3 heavy and Xbox 360 heavy for two reasons. One, I know that most GameStops will have PS3 and Xbox 360 games. That generation is the most prevalent at GameStop. But there will be some other generation titles in here, and some titles that probably are not as in abundance as some of these PS3 and Xbox 360 games. So without any more jabbering and blabbering, let's dive right into it. And the first one you can clearly see right here. So the first game is Wet on the PlayStation 3. Wet typically goes for around 30 to 35 bucks is where it's at on price charting. I know that for the 360, the price of this game has been going up, of course, because of the 360 store closing. But you can find this game for as cheap as $4.75 at GameStop right now. So this is definitely one of the best bolos that you can find. And Wet actually happens to be a pretty fun game. It's a third-person hack and slash shooter style game with like the same slowdown effects that you would see in games like Max Payne. Has a pretty interesting storyline and is one that I would definitely recommend you check out. Pretty solid game. So Wet on the PS3, definitely one you should check for. Next one that we have here is Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Now, when you walk into a GameStop, if you're lucky enough to see this game, it'll more than likely be priced between 50 or 60 bucks, which most people would probably just walk by because they'd probably feel like that's really overpriced for a PlayStation 3 game. However, price charting has this game at around $110 in terms of what it's going for on the, online market. And if you check like eBay and Mercari, you'll usually see this game priced at around 120 bucks. So even getting it at $49 or $59, you're still getting a really good percentage off on the game. So it's still a great value to pick it up if you see it at that price, especially if you can use coupons for it, or if you've got points, or if you've got your $5 off per month. That'd be a great time to burn it on a game like this. And again, Web of Shadows is a very fun game. It's a fun Spider-Man game on the PlayStation 3. Great graphics, great gameplay. These Spider-Man games are becoming timeless, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, my copy did have some water damage on the cover art, but it did come with the manual. And a lot of times, a really good manual is a lot harder to find than the cover art. So I did pick this one up. I'm hoping I'll be able to find like even if I just find a case with better cover art, that'll be great, and I can kind of upgrade the copy that I have now. So, but this is definitely one that you should be on the lookout for. You will see this at GameStops here and there. Next one up is Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 3. Now, this is the Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection, which captures all the games from 1987 to 2012. So, Metal Gear Solid, I think, started on the NES. So there's a bunch of games that I'll show you on the back here, but there's two versions of the Metal Gear Solid Collection. You have Metal Gear Solid the Legacy Collection, and then Metal Gear Solid the HD Collection, which only has 3 games on it. This is the better one. GameStop will typically have this anywhere between 29 bucks and 35 bucks, but this game I know at one point was going for around 60 bucks. So you still get about a 45 to 50% discount when you find this at GameStop, which is a pretty good deal for a game like this. And you get a ton of games in here. Metal Gear, Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake. You get the original PlayStation 1 Metal Gear games, Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid 4. So just a wide range of Metal Gear games on this disc, and it's a really good value that I would say that you get here. So this is one that I would definitely be on the lookout for at GameStop. pretty solid title. Next up, you have Transformers War for Cybertron. I think you see a lot of the other version. I think it's like Fall of Cybertron or something like that. There's another version of this game that's more prevalent than this one, but you can still find this version of Transformers War for Cybertron. GameStop will have this one for roughly around 17 bucks. But this is going for anywhere between 40 and 45 bucks online. So you still get a great value there, about over a 50% discount if you happen to find it in stores. And again, whenever you find these like complete in box, it's almost like a no-brainer, because, you know, they're becoming harder and harder to find with the manual. So this is one that I would definitely take advantage of if you do happen to spot it at a GameStop. Be on the lookout because they will have this one underpriced. Next up, Dynasty Warriors Gundam 3. So this is another PlayStation 3 game that you will see underpriced at GameStop. This one they'll have anywhere between 18 and 20 bucks. Dynasty Warriors Gundam 3 is going for around 40 to 45 bucks online. If you don't, like, sometimes, a lot of times they won't have the manual, but even without the manual, it's about 35 bucks. So you're still getting a great value when you find this game at a GameStop. If you do happen to spot this one, I would say pick it up. You get a great deal, great value there. This copy does have the manual with it, so I'm glad to be able to add that. I actually had to find the manual afterwards because I had picked this up as part of a 4 under 20 for 40 deal. So I wound up paying $9.50 for the game, and then I found the manual online for about 10 bucks. So still a pretty good value on this one here as well. Next up, we have Mario Party 6. Now, Mario Party 6 is not a game that you will run into every day at GameStop. It's probably a long shot running into this at a GameStop. But it is still possible because this is a game that I picked up within the last 2 months from GameStop. And the best part was that it was clean. The cover art was completely intact, and it did have a very good condition manual. So this was in tip-top shape, and I found it at GameStop. Now, when it comes to the Nintendo games, GameStop does a really good job of pricing its Nintendo games as close to market value as possible. And that's for all Nintendo games, whether it's GameCube, Wii, N64, Super Nintendo, Nintendo, whether it's in the store or online. The one brand that they don't mess up on is Nintendo. They're going to charge you as close to market value for these games as possible. And I think Mario Party 6 is like a $70 to $75 game from what I've seen online. GameStop will have this for roughly around 59 bucks. That's definitely what you're going to pay if you pick this up at GameStop. I think if you're able to find it complete in box and good condition, it's a good value to pick it up at GameStop because you're getting like a 10-15% off discount. But if it's disc only, that's where I might say hold off until you can find a better price, or you might as well just go and get it online and get it complete in box. I found a good condition copy, so I went ahead and added it to my collection because the Mario Party games are fun. I didn't have it, and I bought this during GameStop's buy two get one free on all pre-owned. So I actually wound up paying less than the sticker when you factor in the discount that I got, or basically the free game that I got. So if you average out the cost of the 3 games, they all came in at a pretty good discount. So Mario Party 6, be on the lookout. It is available at GameStop. Keep your eyes open. This is a very, very recent pickup. So Kirby's Air Ride on the GameCube, another GameCube game. I am seeing a lot more GameCube games at GameStop, or at least my local GameStop. So definitely keep your eyes open. I typically only pick them up if they're complete in box and in decent condition. This one was in rough shape. I had to really clean it. I had to give it a good wipe down because it was pretty gross. But once I got it cleaned up, it was a keeper. So Kirby's Air Ride, this one typically goes for around $75 to $80 online. Like I said, when it comes to these GameCube games, GameStop is going to price them as high as possible, and this one is also $59. Pick this one up because, again, it was complete in the box with the manual and the insert. So whenever I find them in this condition, they're immediately added to the collection if I don't have it already. And there's a lot of GameCube games that I don't have just because I never went hunting for the GameCube. Like, I don't buy GameCube games online. It's just, it was never a console that I felt like I needed to build a collection for. So I guess for me, now is the time for me to add GameCube games because they just keep dropping in my lap at GameStop. And so if I don't have it, I'm going to add it. This is one that you should be on the lookout for. GameStop is taking a lot of trade-ins for GameCube, so you may run into GameCube games at your local GameStop. It's not a guarantee that they'll all be complete in box, but you may find a few here and there that you can snag. Okay, next up, we've got some 360 action. We all know that the 360 has been hot, and games like Captain America, which you couldn't give away a few years ago, now it's all of a sudden all the rage. Found a copy at my local GameStop. Captain America, GameStop used to have this for like $4.99, but now they've got it up to like $17.99 is where this game is at most GameStops. This one had like a torn up new, like one of the new stickers on it. It was all torn up. I was gonna pass on this, but then I saw that right now Captain America goes for roughly around 40 online. So even picking it up at 17 or 18 bucks, you're still getting more than 50% off of the value there. I think price charting might have it at like 35, which is still a decent value. So this one is underpriced. If you do happen to run into this game at a GameStop, I would say pick it up, especially for the 360. I'm not sure if I would get this on like the Wii or anything. I may get it on the PlayStation 3 if it's complete, but this is definitely one that you want to keep an eye out for because it is underpriced. And I played a little bit of this game. It's cool. It's cool. It's like a little bit better than the Iron Man games. It's not the best like Marvel game, but it was made by Sega, so it does have some cool action elements to it. So Captain America is definitely one I would be on the lookout for. Another game that I actually had in my collection and then sold and then just recently got it back, Dragon Ball Z Budokai HD Collection. This is another one that you'll find at GameStop for around $17.99, but this is going for about 40 bucks online on the Xbox 360. Now you've got that 360 tax, that Xbox 360 tax on all these games. So, but this one is also available on PlayStation 3 as well. So, if you do spot a complete in-box PlayStation 3 version, I say grab that one as well. But this is underpriced, and you are still seeing these at GameStop. So if you happen to swing by a GameStop and see one of these under 20, I would say go ahead and grab it. And then last but not least, the Transformers Fall of Cybertron. So yeah, so this is the more common Transformers game that you'll see both on the PS3 and the 360. The 360 version did come with this slip cover. I picked this up from GameStop this year. It comes with a slip cover, obviously the case and the manual. And this one right now is going for anywhere between 45 and 50. I've seen this one go for like 60, some listings, but I don't think anyone's paying that much for that. But the point is that GameStop will typically have this one listed at around $19.99 or $18.99. So if you're able to snag it at that price, then you're definitely getting a great deal and you're picking up the game with some value to it. So really good stuff. Again, we're not buying these with the intention to resell them, although if you did buy it and resell it to make a profit, I'm not hating on that, but we know how expensive collecting games can be and has become. So whenever there's an opportunity for you to get a discount or save some dollars and cents on some really fun games, I say go ahead and take advantage. And if there's anything that all of these games have in common, is that they're all awesome, fun games to play. And so my recommendation would be when you're out at GameStop, keep your eyes out, be on the lookout, and see if you can take advantage of any of these deals. It's the Y2K Collector, just giving you a heads up, and I will catch you in the next video this afternoon. Take it easy.